Thank you, Mr. Mohammad Yasir Karimi, for taking the time to meet with us. I'm especially delighted to talk and converse with you about the intricacies of Afghan and Afghanistan's people and the Afghans, given my heritage of Punjab.
Okay. Thank you.
And where I want to start is for everybody around the world to understand what are the special characteristics of Afghanistan people called and the country, and what makes them unique, and how the world can learn from those unique characteristics.
First of all, let me to welcome you at the Embassy of Afghanistan, and it is my great pleasure to talk, especially about Afghanistan with you. And secondly, let me to appreciate and congratulate your great initiative. It is very important that all the human beings and the nations should know each other, and it is a great step toward the sustainable peace of entire the world. And the third, this question is better to be addressed to the scholars and researchers. They can provide you much more information in details, but I want to talk about numbers of characteristics of Afghani people or Afghanistan people. First of all, as you know, Afghanistan is an Islamic country. 99% of Afghans are Muslims. So the Islamic values are dominated all over the life of Afghans, from the private to the public fields of life. But when I tell you that the Islamic values or the characteristics that they are dominated on the life of peoples in Afghanistan are a moderate Islam. They are very, very separated from the translation of the extremists or other groups that they have their own interpretation from the Islamic values. We will go during the interview in a little bit in details. So the first characteristic is that Afghanistan is an Islamic country, and Islamic values are dominated in the society. Secondly, Afghans are free, laughing people. During the history, they proved that they laugh independence, and they could safeguard the independence of the country and defeated very strong and great powers that they came to Afghanistan
throughout the history,
through the invasion and through by force, throughout the history. And the third is that Afghan peoples are value the dignity than the money and the materials. When I compare my society with other society, I feel that Afghans value dignity rather than money or other things. Afghans.
Mhm.
And the fourth characteristic that I want to point it out is that Afghan peoples are warm people.
Mhm.
They are very popular all over the world, that Afghans are always warm welcome their guests, and they never hesitate what they have to provide for their guests,
Their hospitality.
for the hospitality. And the fifth, Afghans are hardworking
Mhm.
and honest. Despite all the propaganda and exaggeration that is telling about Afghanistan, Afghans are very honest people, and they love the peace,
Mhm.
coexistence. Afghanistan is a multi-ethnicity and multi-language, multi-religious country. Over the history, they lived, coexisted with each other in the harmony and
Mhm.
peaceful. So these 5 and 6 characteristics are the most bold points that I mentioned to you.
Integrity, hospitality,
Yeah.
hardworking, honesty.
Hardworking, honesty, freedom, love. These are the main.
Jubilant people who work very.
Yeah.
And how do these characteristics come about? What made them happen? Geopolitical? You're surrounded by mountains while this is the main path from Europe to connect to, for example, the Indian subcontinent, right? So this was always a favorite spot for every big power to want to conquer over centuries.
I think many factors joined hand to hand. Afghanistan was the location to connect the civilizations from east to west.
Mm-hmm.
And once it was the middle of the civilization of India, Europe, and in the China.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tell that these are also in somehow affected that bring such a culture that the people be hospitality and the people work hard to be honest, and also the people that respect to the differences rather to conflict with each other.
And how does today's youth relate to these values?
Unfortunately, the decades of war destroyed in somehow the political systems that worked as a shelter for the country. So decades of war resulted that people, of course, the war itself resulted the violence and disputes. They bring in the society such a bad characteristics. But what was the strong society that Afghanistan had in the past, it caused at least that these people survived. Otherwise, it is unbelievable that a society or a country post 30 or more than 30 years of war, but still they have
an integrated society,
and they could survive from, I mean, the country survived. And
after so many aggressions.
Yeah, still a unity country, and the people come together, and since 15 years ago, clubs of Taliban, after clubs of Taliban, they again established a political system, went for the election, started building of the political institutions, the economic structures, and the cultures. So it gave us the point that the people's culture and the society had very strong roots. Otherwise, it was impossible.
And these strong roots that have allowed things to sustain the cultural strength of the nation, how Afghanistan is, what methods they're using to revive the society and the culture? Education, what kind of methods are being used to reconnect and to re-energize the society?
So what I mentioned at the beginning, that interrelation between the people and the society is too strong, and they know that this violence and the war imposed on them, this is not a domestic affairs. It is imposed on the people. So they know their enemies and the problems are surrounding them. So based on the knowledge and the common understanding that exists in the society, they come together and they stand strong again, and they show their strong determination to go ahead in a democratic way that is granted in our constitution.
But this democratic way, very few people know, existed in Afghan society from a long time. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. The jirgas is kind of a democratic form of governance of the society.
You pointed in a very important things that is called jirga. During the history, any kind of disputes from the village to the town to the city, in all parts of Afghanistan, people come together and they talk with each other and solve through their problems through jirga. This is a very unique in Afghanistan, and I think this is the basic of the democracy also.
Yes.
Negotiation, talking, and solving the problems through the peaceful way.
Through consensus of the society.
Through the consensus of the society. So this value already existed in Afghanistan society. Just we want to refresh it in the and bring it in the political way or channels also, that the people should have the parliaments, the provincial councils, district councils. So their roles are already existed in Afghan society.
Yeah, so provincial council is the jirga in a way.
Yeah. And it's called jirga also.
Okay,
we
even
say,
now.
Yeah. our parliaments have two chambers. One is called Walisi Jirga and the other is called Mishrana Jirga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that democracy is not a foreign idea. It's
Sure.
It's
Sure.
very Afghanistan's
Sure.
idea, its own idea. Right?
I cannot claim that all aspects of the democratic values were already existed in Afghanistan. But the important points is that the negotiation, the peaceful way of solving the problems, and all these were existed in Afghanistan. Yeah.
The 5 things you pointed about, characteristics of Afghanistan and its people. You mentioned that they are fun-loving, exuberant people. So very few people know about the music and dance and all of celebrations about part of Afghanistan's culture. So I'm very curious to hear that.
Yeah, actually happiness is very important for a society, and the way that the people should be happy is very important. And Afghans are very happy people, and they enjoy to spend holidays and spare time in outside home, in the mountains, in the green areas. If you go through the news, there are some videos that still the people, even the situation in the cities are not better in terms of the green area or water or such things, but people are spending during the night up to 12, 1 at night. Yeah. In the dance, Afghans, I'm sure if you see the Afghani dance, you will love it. And music, it is very well known among the region countries, but I cannot claim that is well known or very popular than India, but
but it appears to be quite similar.
Very similar. I have some photos from the dress of Afghan women and men with me. That is quite nice dress.
Oh, beautiful.
Women dress, yeah.
This is
and
beautiful.
That's the traditional. And
this reminds me of something that I will see in Kashmir in India.
Oh, yeah. It has similarity in the region. Yeah. And these are some photos on the young girl and boys. Yeah.
Yeah, this leads me to my next question is, as we share all the nations with youth around the world,
yes.
So we wanted to share what are those specific things that are very much representation of Afghanistan in form, like your dry fruits, the dresses.
Our foods also, it has similarity with other countries, but it's unique. I have only one photo with me today.
Okay.
This is called Qabli Palau.
Oh, palau.
Yeah, this
like
is palau, yeah. This Qabli Palau. It's very delicious for the Afghans. I
know,
don't know
even for Punjabi, when we want to show some rich dish, we say Kabuli naan, Kabuli kebabs. So the food heritage and the dresses. Oh, your head dress. I have to wear my glasses. This is similar to Punjabi tikka. That jewelry is similar to something I have from Punjab.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We are in the same region. That's why we have many similarities.
Yes, yes. And to conclude our...
Yeah. And also, I have a booklet of our, by the name of Hidden Treasures from the National Museum, Kabul.
Mhm.
Right now there is an exhibition of our treasures items in the National Tokyo Museum in Oino.
Oh,
Yeah, and these are the
this is the book.
information. If you see, there are many cultural artifacts that is belongs to 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago,
Yes.
and the exhibition is
Beautiful
Yeah.
jewelry.
here in Tokyo.
We someday will have to go. See, it's hard
Please.
to know all of this. Just hearing today's news about Afghanistan.
Yes.
Um,
This is parts of our history. Yeah.
So how can other nations learn and implement similar characteristics that have allowed Afghanistan to stay an integrated community even through all the 10 and 15 years of war, and has still allowed the nation to exist as a very strong community?
First, any nation, any community, any society has their own way of life and their own way of philosophy. I cannot exactly advise them that how they should live, but what is regarded to your question, one way is that you are doing right now is that the way that we have to study, we have to research on the other people's culture, way of thinking, life, history, then we can catch some positive points and implement in our own society. This is my idea for the Afghans also, that we Afghans have to study the other nations, other peoples, and we have to bring the positive things, especially in the way of development. We have to bring them to Afghanistan. So the main way that they can learn from Afghanistan and Afghanistan can learn the others is the way that you are doing. You are researching, you are pointed out the similarities, the characteristics, and then when we know each other, of course it is easy to bring the positive things in our society, in our individual life, and we follow up that.
Thank you.
You know.
As a child has always admired the beauty of Afghanistan
Thank you.
and the richness of the food. So I
Thank you.
hope everybody else can have the chance to enjoy the same.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.